The bitter fight in the Senate over whether or not 17 million Americans deserve to earn a livable wage in this country hit a snag on Thursday when the Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough, she ruled that the minimum wage increase in the bill violated the Byrd rule. As we already know, this has been happening. So while President Biden is reportedly disappointed in it, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is saying that they're going to continue to fight with no real way of how they're going to fight, a couple of Plan Bs have been floated. Let's start with Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat. So he's proposing a workaround solution that would impose a 5% tax penalty on large corporations if their workers earn less than a certain amount, with the penalty increasing over time. He was quoted as saying, "As chair of the finance committee, I've been working on a Plan B that would make big companies pay for mistreating their workers. My plan would impose a 5% penalty on a big corporation's total payroll if any workers earn less than a certain amount. That penalty would increase over time," he said in the statement. He also said that he would include safeguards to prevent companies from evading the penalty by outsourcing jobs. So an example of this would be if a profitable mega corporation like Walmart, if it fires a security guard and replaces him with a contractor who they can pay far less, he says, "My proposal would still require that Walmart pays a penalty," is what he said. So the one more small aspect on this, because we know everyone's always talking about how increasing minimum wage would hurt small businesses. They would go out of business. They can't afford to pay their folks a livable wage. So with that in mind, Wyden said he also wants to incentivize what he calls, quote, the smallest of small businesses to raise workers' wages by providing them an income tax credit equal to 25% of their wages, up to $10,000 per year per employer, to these businesses if they boost the wages. So as long as they decide to do it, they can get a tax credit that will allow them, that will assist them in paying folks.
Yeah.
So why, is he on the right track? Is this a good Plan B?
Yeah, let me weigh in on this. Plan B sucks. Plan A was $15 minimum wage. That is what every Democrat promised the voters. Joe Biden promised it. Kamala Harris has pretended to be in favor of it for years and years and years, right? And Bernie Sanders is actually in favor of it. And now, when we're putting it in the COVID relief bill, which is its only chance of passing the Senate, all of a sudden, they're all against it. How funny how that works. Okay, you wanna know why? With the exception of Sanders and Wyden and some progressive senators, all the rest of them were lying. By the way, I told you before the election and immediately after the election, and as they were debating it, every step of the way, I told you they were lying and they were never going to do it. And I was greeted with a wall of criticism and skepticism. Oh, Cenk, no, all these beloved politicians tell us it's their top priority and they're going to do it. Well, they did, and it's the easiest thing in the world. It's overwhelmingly popular. Republicans love it, Democrats love it, independents love it. The only people who don't like it are giant corporations who give money to Republican and Democratic politicians. So first of all, yes, told you. I told you they didn't believe it and they were never gonna do it. So now that we have a petition saying, Bernie, you're the budget chair. It's not anybody else, you're the budget chair. You get to decide what's in the bill. So tyt.com/petitions/don't kill it, Bernie. Because Bernie, I got news for you. If you take it out of the bill, they're not gonna care about Plan B and 25% of this and 10,000 that. That's never gonna pass anyway. Later, they will turn around and say, oh, we didn't do it. We never voted on it. Bernie Sanders took it out of the bill. It's his fault. And he's falling right into that trap. Plan B, did anybody understand what Jayar was talking about? I had to read it 3 times to understand it. 25% of the 7% then becomes 11% with Walmart, but not the small ones, but the small ones get a tax increase. How are you gonna sell that to the American people? You're not gonna sell it to the American people. Instead, what you're helping Manchin and Joe Biden do is hide behind the parliamentarian, have the most progressive senator take out the simplest progressive message out of the bill, not a message, the actual legislation, take it out of the bill, and then pretend that they're gonna support Plan B that has no approval ratings, that no one knows or even understands. I'm sorry, but that's just terrible politics. And if Wyden and Bernie think that that's somehow gonna pass, they're definitely wrong. They're falling for the same trap that they've fallen for 1,000 times. Bernie, I got news for you. She's gonna pull the football. That's what she does. Don't try to kick it. She's got to pull it. So hashtag don't kill it, Bernie. Don't kill it. Plan B sucks. So that's my take on it, Ida.
You know, when I remember going to the Women's March and there was this older lady who had on a shirt that said, "I can't believe I'm still marching for this." I feel like I can't believe that we're still having a conversation about worthiness, about the American people who are below the line being worthy enough to make a livable wage. And that all of these politicians that we keep talking about, Democrat and Republican, have become so negotiable and so disconnected from the American people that they blatantly spit in your face, make promises, tell you that they're gonna do something, they're better than the other guy, and then they get in office and they start behaving as we know that they will be behaving because they're getting paid. They're negotiable and they are corrupt. Listen, as we talked about the election and we said Biden was the lesser of two evils. Nobody here ever said that he was the great candidate and the best that we can do, because we know that the best that we can do, we don't even know what that is when it comes to the American people. But we've been bullied and we've been brainwashed into believing that we have to support toxic capitalism at our expense. And it's just gross to see. This is why I don't bang for Democratic or Republican candidates. I bang for the people. And I just think that it's time for people to remember, to wake up. Where you put your dollars and where you put your votes, a lot of times you are investing in your own oppression. And this is terrible. Bernie, you know better. You know they're not gonna come rescue the people. You all we got right now. You and a few other people sprinkled in there. Y'all need to show up for the people because this is egregious.
So it makes you wonder, so then were the discussions had with Bernie and some of these other folks about the best way to go forward? And because as I pointed out, Chuck Schumer said, yeah, we're gonna continue to fight for this, but he didn't necessarily say how, when, why? So
no. Jayar, let me just be super clear, because the rest of the media refused to do their job. Chuck Schumer is lying. He has no plan to fight for $15 minimum wage. He's part of the people who killed it. Okay, Chuck, here I can prove it. Chuck, what's your plan? Oh, you don't have one. You're gonna continue to fight for it when? 4 years from now? But you guys are in charge now. You have complete control now. You control the Senate, the House, and the White House. You're planning to fight for the simplest progressive priority, the most core promise you made on the campaign trail. When, Chuck? No, media, do your goddamn job. The guy's obviously lying. In fact, Chuck Schumer is among the people who worked behind the scenes to make sure we didn't get the $15 minimum wage. But every media outlet helps them with their lies by writing, Chuck Schumer says he's outraged by what the parliamentarian did. Joe Biden says he's gonna keep fighting. Joe Biden last week went on TV and said, now if the parliamentarian were to take it out, there's nothing we could do about that. Wink, 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 right? He basically told the parliamentarian to take it out. Joe Biden was never gonna do $15 minimum wage. So Joe Biden, I challenge you. Chuck Schumer, I challenge you. When are you going to fight for the $15 minimum wage and how? At least Bernie and Wyden have a crappy plan B. Where's your plan B? Oh, you don't have one because you're liars. Let's be clear.
Maybe he wants to go with the unity route because I have another plan B. You want to hear this one? He's the new populist candidate. So Senator Josh Hawley, who's after you named Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, is the third member of senators that were a part of pushing the narrative that fueled the fire for the insurrectionists on January 6th. So Josh Hawley's been trying to remedy his I don't know if he thinks it's damaged enough, but to bring back his own character with populist proposals, because we all know that he's planning on running in 2024 for president. So he has a couple press releases out where he said, in this press release, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley announced a plan to require companies with revenues of $1 billion or more to pay their employees $15 an hour. Senator Hawley's plan would result in an immediate wage increase for millions of workers while avoiding a one-size-fits-all increase that would disadvantage small businesses. He's referencing that point about small businesses are gonna suffer. He went on to say, Senator Hawley believes higher wages for blue-collar workers are long overdue, and that's why he wants to provide a bonus to every worker making below the median wage. Here's his bonus. They would receive that bonus directly through an automatic advanceable tax credit tied to hours worked. Now, this is how it works really fast. The credit is worth 50% of the difference between the median wage and the worker's hourly wage rate. In other words, this is again in his press conference. If you have to say in other words to explain what you're doing, the credit would boost per hour wages 50% closer to the median. So if the median is set at $16 an hour, they're gonna allow you to have tax credits. Say you make $10 an hour. So the difference between your 10 and 16.50 is $6.50, and the 50% of that is $3.25. So you add that $3.25 as a supplemental a tax credit to your $10 an hour that you're getting now, and you get that in 4 different parts throughout the year's way this works. Senator Hawley, then this is the best part. The credit would be implemented on a temporary basis to boost take-home pay during the economic recovery and sunset after 3 years. What's 3 years after right now in 2021? It's 2024 when the next presidential election is going on, and when Josh Hawley is gonna be in that presidential race, supposedly, and ending these quote unquote populist things that he's now pushing in his plan B for getting Americans a $15 minimum wage because he's so hell-bent on doing that.
So now let's talk about Hawley's plan B. It's even more complicated than Wyden's. It's a total disaster. He doesn't actually mean it. It won't pass. None of that will ever happen, okay? But what will happen is when Hawley runs for president, 24, 28, whatever, he'll say, I was the only one who fought for $15 minimum wage. Even Bernie took it out of the bill.
Yep.
Even Bernie took it out. The only person who wanted higher wages for you was the most right-wing senator in the country. And Democrats are walking into that trap. La 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 la. We promised you higher wages, then we screwed you, and then we let Josh Hawley, who's totally works for corporations, to pretend he's gonna raise your wages and seem more populist than us. How do you like the Democrats' plan A? To be idiots and to lose to people like Josh Hawley.
Where do we come in with the pressure? Like while you were talking, I looked up a gallon of milk, $3.89, $5.49 for a carton of eggs, $4.49 for a loaf of bread, lettuce, $4.79 for a bunch. This is what and that's not organic. The American people are up against the wall right now. This pandemic has been real for everyone. They're struggling, we're all struggling. And these people are playing political theater with the dollars of the American people. So I know you guys get into policy and you get into the specifics of why these plans are trash. And we know that is garbage because garbage only produces garbage. But this is the reason why we gotta keep reminding people that they gotta hold these politicians accountable because we saw all of the great monologues that were delivered during the election cycle. They were all talking about this minimum wage like it was gonna happen day one. And now here we are, another cycle of this pandemic. People are not getting, I have friends who are gonna relocate because they're not gonna be able to pay back the rent that they owe. And you're telling me that you guys they don't have to worry about this. Their healthcare is paid for, their kids go to good schools. You gotta hold these people accountable and stop letting them play games with your life.
So guys, right now, hashtag Don't Kill It Bernie is trending on Twitter. Go and do likewise, okay? Go sign the petition, tyt.com/petition/don't kill it Bernie. Because Ida, I'm gonna ask you something, okay? Because we've got the plan A was $15 minimum wage, and it was in the COVID relief bill. Bernie's the chair of the budget committee. He decides what's in the bill, so he could keep it in the bill or he could kill it. We're asking him not to kill it because right now his plan A is to kill it and go with plan B. So you heard Josh Hawley's plan B and you heard Ron Wyden's plan B, and Bernie's is basically similar or the same as Wyden's. Did you even we're neck deep here in the minutia of policy, but you care deeply about the issues without following every single policy proposal from House Resolution 282, right? So did you even I don't mean to say, did you understand it? Because we all understood it, right?
Right.
But could you follow what they were trying to do and get excited like, oh, if we do the 50% of the 25%, then their wages might go up by 11%.
No, and I guarantee you, like I work from home. I have the privilege of being a stand-up comedian where I can work at night. And no, so I guarantee you that somebody who's working at a towel mill, somebody who is working packaging boxes, someone who is delivering from UPS that's working 8 to 12 hours a day and do not have the time to unpack this stuff, don't understand it either.
One small point about Josh Hawley and his desire. So this is the Hill's headline this morning. Hawley, Sanders, both backing corporate tax to get $15 minimum wage. So if for many people, we already know people read headlines and they read maybe the first paragraph of an article, if that much. And that will be the narrative, or at least that'll be the thing that they believe is happening here. So both Hawley and Sanders have teamed up, and he also mentioned in the article, it's not the first time they've teamed up to have some kind of proposal for legislation that would help American people. These are the headlines that will be repeated as Josh Hawley tries to run for president. Like, I was the populist guy, you guys. I was in there with Bernie Sanders, who was on the right side of things, just on some of these issues. I was there, vote for me. And this is the assist.
He was a guy who held up the black fist during the talking of the people, which is a mockery of black people who were fighting for their rights and humanity during the Black Panther movement. He had a black glove on, threw the black fist up, and hyped those people up to go over there and kidnap and kill Pence, AOC, Nancy Pelosi. Nobody, I know y'all don't want, people don't want to say it and they don't want, but that's what they say. And they don't really include AOC on that list of people that they were gonna try to harm. So let's just be real, that Ayanna Pressley didn't have the buttons. He was a participant in that. And I know this is about minimum wage, but every time we have an opportunity to speak the names of the people who tried to overthrow our democracy, we have to remind the American people of that. Because you try to run for president in 2024 and you wanna be the president of the United States when you tried to overthrow the United States in 2021. Get out of here with that.
And I'm gonna say one last thing to Bernie. Plan A is higher wages. No one cares about Plan B, okay? So Plan A is very simple. Guess whose plan it is, Bernie? Your plan. You've been fighting for it this entire time. You got the entire Democratic Party to pretend they were on your side. That was a Herculean task. That was amazing. You did great work for it. After 40 years, do not fall for their trap. We've been right about this 1,000 times. You take it out of the bill and they will blame you for it. It's so obvious. Hashtag don't kill it, Bernie. Don't kill the minimum wage. They're gonna make you their bag man. Just as a friend, I'm trying to tackle you before you participate in the bank robbery unwittingly, okay? You're the one who fought for this. You were the hero. Don't take it out of the bill to save Manchin or Sinema's ass. Or Joe Biden, he doesn't care about you. Honestly, I love your brother, but you're wrong. He's never been your friend. He's the friend of the Chamber of Commerce. He's not your friend, and he's trying to trick you into taking the fall and the responsibility for killing a proposal he was never in favor of. It's called fight for 15. That's what you're supposed to do, fight for it.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, we really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.